Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Frosthaven. Before we dig into the town as a whole, I went through and I did a little bit of reading of the spare cards that we have. As with the Gloomhaven, you don't necessarily start with everything having been equipped, and you can swap some things out if you've got ideas for other things that you might want to do. For instance, we could swap out Rallying Cry, which does disarm, with Resolved Courage, which does the snare ability and potentially hits more things. So there's a couple of things that you can do. For the Banner Spear, there is a few ranged attacks. There's a relatively light 2 damage at 4 range with advantage shot, which is really not a bad thing to have. Like for range, start plinking things down. Banner of Hope that does a little bit of healing for those nearby. However, actually, I misread this. I was thinking we're going to be reducing the amount of damage that we do with Unbreakable Wall, but no, that's just -1 to your ranged attacks. So maybe we would still be... It would still be worth us having this in. Okay. Let's lean a little bit more into range and less into... Oh, but I like all of the... Right, we're going to keep our cards the same. I like all of the abilities for different reasons. Pincer movement, you get on the other side of things. 5 damage and muddle them. That's great. Being able to disarm enemies is useful. Being able to heal, obviously. Deflecting maneuver. It's got shield on the bottom, and I do like having that as a bit of flexibility. So no, we'll keep that as it is. However, on our lovely Blink Blade, I've gone through and read. There's a lot of information to take in here. I've got a better understanding of the various things. This is Ward. The next time the person takes damage, they take half damage, rounding down. This, of course, is Bless, which gives them another ×2 in the deck. But the interesting one that I found was Sand in the Hourglass. Cause a wound on someone in range 1, and then every enemy with a wound immediately suffers 2 damage. We are going to take this with us. It means we're going to take something else out of the deck. Probably take out the Drive Recharge. Oh, I do like the Drive... No, we're not going to take out the Drive Recharge. Let's take out Overdrive. Let's take out Overdrive and we'll put on Sand in the Hourglass. There's some very, very, very cool cards, and I love the potential flexibility. Experimental Adjustment. You take 2 damage, all enemies within range 2 take 1 damage, and then you go invisible. It's just like poof, with a little mini explosion around. So we're swapping that over. Sand in the Hourglass, I think, is going to be really quite potentially good. We've got a wound up here. We've got 2 wounds here. This does a wound. So we've got, just on this character alone, several cards that can whittle enemies' health down. And that's the kind of way I like to play. Thinking about it, this character, it is a Quadril, of course. So it's like the Tinkerer built themselves a strange mecha suit and they're zipping around all over the place. I really love it. I've also got a better understanding of our Drifter. Having played that last match, I definitely see how you're supposed to play and how I did not play last time. So hopefully the next game will have a little bit better. One final thing is the perks. So we managed to get 2 of our characters' perk marks last time. Unfortunately, the Banner Spear didn't get one. But the cards are not just replacing the minuses with pluses or the zeros with pluses. There are some interesting perks in there. Into the Breach, whenever you open a door, gain 3 movement. Once each quest, gain 2 shield for the round. At the end of each of your long rests, grant an ally extra movement. These things could really, really change how characters play, so I'm very eager to see how they go. Right, let's go back to the town as a whole. So, in the town, we have 4 out of 4 soldiers. We can't train anymore. If we were to, it would be over at the barracks. They're at capacity. I assume they will die if the town gets attacked. We've also got morale. I assume that's for the town as a whole. And inspiration. Don't know what that mechanic's going to be yet. In terms of what we can do, we have the craftsman. We don't have enough metal for that. To upgrade it, that is. We have a workshop. We don't have enough to build any of the forms of travel. So that's not going to work either. And over at the alchemist, we need more metal if we're going to upgrade that. We can visit the alchemist and see if there's anything we can brew. Having only got the tiniest little bit of snow thistle, we don't have anything to start doing research, let alone start making things. So it will come out of that. Over in the craftsman, however, we do have enough to be able to do a few things. So traveling cloak, at the start of your quest, health is increased by 1. That's cool. Crude hide armor. That's something that could be useful. Crude boots, actual extra movement. I like that more than anything so far. Flexible slippers are fine, but not really that interesting to me. Crude bow for extra range could be good. Crude spear could also... Putting the crude spear on the blink blade could be really quite awesome. Except they've already got items equipped. Let's, for now, make some crude boots so we get a bit of extra movement. On the banner spear makes the most sense to me because we're likely to be moving less frequently with them, I think. It's hard to tell at this point in time. And I don't think we have enough materials on anyone else. So I think that's probably all we can do for right now in terms of actually building. So it says building upgrade is available. It is technically, but we don't have the metal. I don't think we can buy them. It says a new building can be constructed. Potentially a boat. We don't have the ability, the materials. Let's just have a quick click through to see if there's anything that could be done. No. Nothing can be done. And Frosthaven at the moment has no defense. So I think we're going to be kind of limited. Let's go to the world map. Just before I do, ranked buildings, available upgrades, new buildings, active, yeah. Yeah, I think that's all we've got. Oh, there is a merchant. Okay. What can we get from the merchant? We don't have enough money for anything. Flea bitten shawl if you really want to not be hit. I wonder if we can... Oh, we can sell stuff for gold. So the boots we made, we could sell for 4. So we can convert resources, potentially. And it looks like we can buy 1 thing a week. Oh, some of them look like they could be really cool. That gets discarded after use. That gets reusable. Metallic scrap sword. Love that. Right. Okay. We need more money. We need more loot. We need We need so much more stuff. Let's go to the world map. 10 minutes in, and we're just about figuring out what's going on. So we've got 2 quests. Algox Scouting and Algox Offensive. If we follow the group of raiders, that was the ones going up the mountain. Or we go up against the raiders that are coming straight in. I think we should probably do the scouting. It seems like a smarter choice getting intel, so let's kick that off. An encounter along the way.
Look round a rocky outcropping and find a lavishly dressed Savas staring you down, anger in its eyes.
You're late.
You stammer a non-committal half-response, but it's quickly cut off.
Useless. Don't touch the food with those greasy hands of yours. It's worth more than all those pelts you're wearing. Grab a tray and get to work serving your betters. And be advised, your tardiness is coming out of your tip.
A dozen Savas are seated on stone benches around an outdoor table meticulously carved from a single slab of granite. Each Savas is wearing elaborate clothing studded with metals and fine silks that really do put your own clothes to shame. The scene is set for a magnificent feast, and a nearby serving area has gorgeous platters heaped high with the most perfect cuts of rocks?
Get on with it. We're hungry.
Well, I mean, it is Savas, so they're likely to eat rocks. I did say a moment ago, we need to make some money, so let's make some coin.
You shuttle heavy platters of fine rocks from the serving area to the assembled Savas, refilling drinks and generally staying out of their way. The Savas consume the geologic sampler with a deliberate slowness, savouring the crunch and grinding each bite to sand before swallowing.
Delicious.
When the gathered group is satiated, one calls you over and hands you a small pouch full of gold with an idle nod of thanks.
Well, that is definitely welcome. One of the weapons was worth 20 gold. Because it's individual gold rather than group gold, I think we'll keep it even. But it is worth bearing that in mind. Like we could justify sticking 8 over here. Feels a little mean to have it distributed like that. That kind of works. Now, it may not be available next time. And speaking of time, there is like an overarching clock calendar that runs in the back of the system. We're currently in, I think it's early summer. So the more things we do and the more time we take, the more potential trouble we're going to get in. Okay, we need a battle goal for each hero. So, Zealot have 3 or fewer cards. Okay, that's really running ragged. Workhorse gain lots of experience. And Gambler, kill an enemy with an attack that has disadvantage. None of these are particularly likely. But we could burn down at the end the Zealot. But it means like being right on the edge. We'll take Zealot. Not happy about it though. Rambler, end no more than 3 of your turns in the hex in which you started, except when long resting. Okay, that could work. Straggler, take only long rests. Dawdler, never use your lowest initiative played card as your initiative card. So that means we always have to have the slower of the 2 cards. But this would get us a full perk. That would be moving really slowly though. I don't like that. Let's go with Rambler. We'll just keep moving around. We'll just have to try and remember. Closer, kill the last enemy. Interesting. Sluggard. perform a long rest while at maximum health after you've already suffered damage. So we'd need to take damage, then heal up, and then perform a long rest. Plebeian, never kill an elite enemy or boss. Let's go for Plebeian. We'll let someone else get the kill. Guards, elites, archer elites, scouts, and elites.
They'll be tired from the raid, so this is your moment.
Sather had explained, pointing you toward the foothills of the Copperneck Mountains, where her scout tracked the Algox attackers.
I doubt you'll be able to fight them all on your own, but maybe you can find another way to subdue them if you get close. On the other hand, they'll be worn out after this little battle, so feel free to test your luck. Just remember, even a tired Algox is strong enough to rip someone in two.
You head to the area indicated by the scout, following the Algox's trail toward a wicked-looking mountain. As you draw nearer, you see that the trail splits. The main force returned to the near side of the mountain, but a smaller group peeled off to hike around to the eastern face. The scout told you he suspected there was a back door to the Algox settlement, and you follow the smaller group's trail, hoping he was right. The path narrows as you approach the steep eastern face, winding up to an overlook high above. Peering upward, you make out the faintest glimmer of light, but then a shape blots it out. A body, large and white, tumbles over the rocky ledge like a boulder,
That's not
slamming
good.
against the jutting rocks. A dead Algox brawler, just like the ones who attacked Frosthaven, lies at your feet. Judging by its injuries, the rocks weren't its only problem. There's a fight up above. You scramble toward the top, hoping to make it before the battle is through. When you're halfway up, another furry shape appears over the ledge.
Here we go.
More intruders.
She scoffs.
You will never open the sky hole. This place belongs to the ice.
Your shock at the fact that an Algox just spoke your tongue is quelled as the speaker lifts a huge boulder and hurls it down at you. Time to move.
Yeah, definitely time for us to act. Looking at what we have a couple of archers down the end. We've got 3 immediate threats. Let's have a look at the drifters. So previously, we've had draining arrows. They're not going to do a huge amount of damage, but they are going to generate muddle. I think it's smart for us to do that. And then in addition, if we go for sustained momentum, that'll give us more move. We could also go for relentless and try kind of being the blunt. No, let's go for unbreakable. So we're going to go for draining arrow and unbreakable. Draining arrow is range 3. If we stand here, 1, 2, 3. It's not going to be enough. Stand here, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll be able to hit 2 of them if we stand right at the front. It's not a bad plan. And then we can put on the retaliate and the crushing. Oh, if we go for crushing weight, though, we don't have any healing. I think we'll go for precision aim next time and get that range damage bonus in. So this is our initial start. How are we going to injure them further? Javelin seems like a good option. They may not make it close enough to actually do anything worthwhile. I like the idea of getting banners out, but it would be a big investment to burn it this early on. Getting a shield early, however, that fits in nicely with what I would normally do. Come across over here. Fast or slow? If we purposefully try and go slowly, sand in the hourglass isn't going to do anything. Sap speed could. Let's say if we go... In fact, thinking about it, if we go fast... Well, if we go fast, it's even better, isn't it? Let's switch it to slow, because then things are actually slow. We could use hit and run to move in. And then we just need something that's going to be reasonable. Well, we could use kinetic transfer, actually. Twin Strike would do 2 hits. I want to save Cascading Reaction. Don't want to do Power Leak on ourselves. Although Power Leak on ourselves is still not too bad. Yeah. I think that's what we're gonna end up doing. Do like the idea of Twin Strike, but I want to save the healing for when we need it. So we're going to use Blurry Jab to move on up. And then we'll use Power Leak to do a big hit, and then next turn we'll run away. Guards and Guard Elite are staying still, thankfully. But they are going to shield up a bit. So our damage output is going to be a bit less effective. But we're going to be a little bit safer. Banner Spear. Right. Let's get the old Javelin in. It's not a huge amount of damage, but... better than nothing. Get that shield on. And then Drifter. We'll get Unbreakable in now. And then Draining Arrows. Oh, it's target 3 at range 2. I misread that. Okay, well this is entirely useless to us right now. Yeah, it's target 3 at range 2. I should have just put on the Precision Strike. Not to worry. Step on in. Do some damage. And get some poison on the elite. Now, there's also specific quests for the characters. So, we've got our quest for this episode, which is never kill an elite or boss. Unending Speed, declare fast for 7 consecutive rounds. That would take a bit of effort to do. And Untouchable, never be targeted by an attack. These I would love to do. Obviously not going to happen right now. Time to go fast and get out of here. So, we're not going to hit you. Do we have anything that jumps? I don't think so. In fact, before we do that, let's get... Oh, you know what we can do? We can do combined effort. Set for the charge, combined effort. We're going to charge in with set for the charge, and we're going to take the elite out. That way the elite is done super fast. We don't have to worry about it. We'll get precision aim on over at the back, and then we'll get sustained momentum. So really, we are just gearing up for those uses. I hope this is the right move. After the elite is done, we can step in and do sap speed on these two. So how are we going to step in? Kinetic transfer will cause damage to both of them. And we could shove them back, which would be hilarious. Let's try it and see how it goes. They are once again moving quickly, but it's all about shield and retaliate. So we're not really going to want to be attacking them and taking that on the face. Skip the rest of the movement. Combined effort. Take him out. Drops a good one. Shield and retaliate. Ugh. We can still just do damage with the kinetic transfer. However, the banner spear will take a little bit from that. Take the damage. Oh, and then do we want to push them away? Probably not. That would be retaliate 4 if we go for it, which just feels like a bad idea. So let's ignore the attack. They are in too defended a position. Oh, we've got some arrow vine. Oh, we got lucky with that. That is not going to keep happening, however. Ow. Drifter. Get your ranged stuff in place. Get your sustained momentum in place. Okay, once again, Blink Blade. We want Cascading Reaction. We're going to stab both of these, and then we need to back on up, which... It doesn't matter which way we back up. We could use Temporal Displacement to do an additional attack, but I think we need to be gone. Yeah, let's use Temporal Display. I don't like this. Let's use Hit and Run to back away. We need the Banner Spirit and the Drifter to come on up. That's what we need. So Deadly Shot is going to be at range 4, and it will do 2 damage. continuous health is at range 2, which is really at range 3. So continuous health will attack here, and then we can move up. Yeah, let's move in with just anything else, because we'll be able to move 4 and get much closer. What's our biggest move, actually? Violent Inheritance, but we don't want that for this. Yeah, I think we'll do something like Relentless to move on up, which means we're going to be quite slow, but we'll have things cleared out. If we step in and do a little bit of maneuvering, it's a shame we're not the other way around, actually. We could tip the spear through them. If we can get to the other side, we could do pincer movement, but that's also not going to happen. So I think it might just be stepping in and doing some kind of deflecting maneuver. So deflecting maneuver will give them a disadvantage, and also the archers. And it gets us moving up relatively quickly. If we come to this side, I think that would be the most beneficial. And we'll go for Rallying Cry. Okay, let's do it. So the guards are going to move and attack for once. So let's do our own maneuvering. Step across. Deflecting maneuver on this guy. Well, that was rather useless. We had to get unlucky at some point. We can stab both of these, though. So, give you a good hit. He will die on his turn. That is great. Skip the movement. Stab this one. Good enough. And then we just need to back up a teeny bit. Ding! Right on the shield. We are going to start taking little bits of peppering damage, but that's not too bad. Let's move all the way up and start shooting at these guys. And you know what? I think we're going to start with the one at the back. We're getting a little unlucky. Just a little. But it's fine. Let's go with getting back precision aim. And we got a little bit of hide. Okay, this guy will die. If we wait for him to die, we'll be able to do other things. So let's do a regroup. At the very least, we can heal ourselves. We have to go slow over here, so let's say drive recharge, get the healing and the regen. And there's not going to be any looting nearby. In fact, rather than drive recharge, let's say sand in the hourglass. for the healing, and actually we could do Twin Strike for the healing. Twin Strike, move up, heal up a little bit. Sand in the Hourglass would just get him out of the way if he hadn't already moved, but he will have moved by then. But it's not really helping us. Except it heals both of these two. So, yeah, Twin Strike would be just to attack, assuming you haven't already moved, but you will probably have already moved. We'll go with Temporal Displacement, Drive Recharge. I know that took a while to decide, but that's how these things go. You're going to be dead. We're going to move in and get right up in the middle of these guys. Prudent Preparation would give us a pretty nice Retaliate once we're right in there. Add a bit of shield, which is always good. We can also do Deadly Shot. I like Deadly Shot. Yeah, let's go Vile Assault and Deadly Shot. Which I assume means we're going to be shooting and then moving. Are we all done? Not quite. So you're doing Regroup, which will give you a bit of healing on yourself. And Tip of the Spear will allow us to position ourselves. Yeah, if we move the Drift up to here, Tip of the Spear would work there. Potentially. Lots of questions. We'll have to see what the enemy gets. Archer's moving at 29, so they'll be moving after us. The guard is moving actually really slowly. So, this is not going how I expected at all. We're going to go regroup on ourselves. And then we'll do the move round to here. Which is not the right place for Tip of the Spear, but it means that we're going to be tanking from the archers. Take the 1 damage and get stuck in place. That's fine. Drifter. Deadly Shot on this one. And we may as well move all the way in now. Skip the rest of the movement. There goes the guard. So I said we were going to heal ourselves up. And get a little bit of regen. Unfortunately, there's nothing to loot nearby, so we'll just have to leave that. We're not in a place to do either of these, and we're going to be stuck in place regardless. So this is really just to pass the time before we do a long rest. It's actually going to come down to our lovely Drifter, who's going to do Bloodletting. We'll go for Prudent Preparation, which will allow us to do some healing backwards. Bloodletting, we'll try and get one of these killed and get back one of our usages of things. And in the meantime, our Blink Blade will move up probably a little bit slowly. And we'll just grab the loot. Ooh, 2 targets from the archer. That is, if they're in a position to actually do that. So we've got a choice. We can do shield and retaliate, and we can get one of them bleeding, which is kind of cool. Or we do bloodletting, try and get one of them dead. And then we do the healing behind us. It does make sense to ensure the kill. Because we could roll that minus. We would have been fine with the other guy, but this was the right call to make. Let's get back our sustained momentum. Do we heal behind, or do we carry on looting and pushing for the door? If we push for the door, then that's a pincer thing next time. Let's go for the pincer. It's all about knowing the rest of your team. Move fast, hit hard. Never perform a move ability or attack with a value less than 4. Wow. The whole drifter setup is really quite incredible. And yeah, we've had to keep the drifter moving because of the whole Rambler ability this time. Blink Blade! It doesn't matter which of these we use because we're going to be doing the full move onto here. This enemy doesn't have any actual things to pay attention to, so we'll just grab the loot. Hey, metal! There's a nice shield. And I like to see the ×0 from the enemy. Okay, well, we're stuck in place. We can't move. So, effectively, skip all of that. We're not going to do at all costs. Although I do like at all costs. 3 healing to all friends, and then we take the damage here. But we could burn a card to get around that. This card doesn't burn by itself. It's really quite powerful. Okay, we're going to have a short rest on the Banner Spear. We're going to move slowly on the Drifter. And I think we're going to have a long rest on the Blink Blade. For the short rest, do we lose Tip of the Spear? I think that's a fine one to lose. It's difficult to position ourselves ready for it. So we'll lose that. Instead, we will go for the pincer movement, which is really quite awesome in terms of damage. We want to go nice and quick, so let's go with deflecting maneuver and pincer movement. And we're moving before him, which is all we need. So step on in. And here's the pincer. More loot for us to grab. Drifter. Right. Well, I said we were going to go slowly. We can loot everything that's nearby. I think that's a smart choice. Skip the attack, get the loot. And then the question is, do we push up for the door, or do we heal our friend? That's what we do. We'll push in next turn. Let's get an additional use of sustained momentum. And for the Blink Blade, we're going to have to choose what to discard. it might be sap speed. No, we'll... temporal displacement. It does let us move on the top. Well, we've got a couple of things that let us move on the top, but it lets us move in on the top. Yeah, we'll lose sap speed. Fully refreshed. We need to get in here and hit whatever is in here hard. Set for the charge will get us into the room. 1, 2, 3, 4. Javelin should allow us to shoot anything that's nearby. And then the following turn, we'll do something else. Drifter, I think we can do a short rest with you. We don't need a long rest to specifically choose. Blink Blade. We need to move 1, 2, 3, 4 and some change. Kinetic transfer would get us moving far and fast. Blurry Jab would also get us moving very fast. But I would rather save that. So let's assume we're going to do temporal no, not temporal displacement. Kinetic transfer to move in. We're still moving slow with this. At least until we see what's in the next place. None of the top abilities are particularly interesting right this second. Let's say temporal displacement as our top ability, and we'll effectively pass the time and see what's there. Short rest, are we willing to lose bloodletting? I think we are. It's really nice, but we want to be doing mostly ranged stuff. Speaking of mostly ranged stuff, we'll go for Draining Arrow. And whatever we use to move in, we're going to have a lot of maneuverability anyway. Let's use Relentless to move in, and we'll go with that. So, Banner Spear. Open the door.
Dodging boulders on the side of a mountain wasn't quite how you imagined spending the morning, but you make it to the overlook without getting crushed. However, just before you pull yourself over the final ledge, a voice carries over the wind, stopping you.
Huh?
Foul ice pizzles!
It shouts in a deep, commanding cry.
You're nothing but petty blasphemers twiddling in your caves.
That's cool.
You make it over the ledge and see the owner of the voice pinned between two boulders. She's clearly an Algox, but she's dressed much differently from the brutes who were just hurling boulders at you. Larger than her male opponents, she wears ornate battle garb that marks her as a prominent member of a different faction. She turns to you with snarling hatred, but softens when she realizes you're not friends of her enemies.
Yeah, calm down, kitty.
Quickly then, warm-bloods, help me fight these dirt lovers. Aid me, and I swear to aid you.
Her hand, though pinned, glows with a crackling blue energy.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to help. Right, so... She's pretty beefy. What's she going to do? She's going to move and do some healing. Let's just get in the way. And... Oh, I don't have the range on my javelin. That makes me sad. Well, can't even attack the boulder, so we'll skip the attack. Oh god. I'm glad there's going to be healing coming in. Ow. Oh, that's very painful. Okay, Drifter. Let's get the draining arrows on all of these. So 3 at range 2. So we're going to be right up in the middle of it. I should have gone to the other space. That was a mistake. If I'd gone to the other space, then we could have done like a combined effort on him, but this is fine. Other than the time 0, it was perfectly fine. Thanks, priest. I just realised all 3 of these are elites, which means the blink blade can't really do anything. I mean, we can damage them certainly, but it's not going to be the best. So we'll move up to here. Skip the potential extra ability. Okay, next round. We can do a bit of healing for ourselves with regroup. We can also do some maneuverability for our friends. I do wish combined effort, but in fact, let's select the Drifter. So, we're right in the middle of all of this. We need to be effective. Let's say we're going to use crushing weight to do some healing back. In fact, no. Let's say prudent preparation, and we're going to step across to here. Using violent inheritance. Idea being that we're going to kind of tank this up and do our best to just work through it. Which means we can do combined effort if we step on up and get a slash. So a regroup and a combined effort. Or hell, even a combined effort and a rallying, well, at all costs. That'll get us in place and get a nice slash off. Time to go fast. 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So we can use Blurry Jab to get in. And then hit and run to strike and then back away. That could be fun. Let's see how that goes. The Archer Elite's going fast. They're going to try and create traps. We're going to get in the way of that, thankfully. So, Drifter, I need you to step across to here. Then stick on your shield. And you retaliate. It's not a huge amount, but it'll be a little bit. Ignore that damage. Now we want to push them back. Alright, let's get right on in. Skip the rest of the movement. We'll have a stab. Get some poison on. This definitely helps. And then I think we'll back up over here. Or here, actually. Banner Spear. Here we go. Combined effort. Oh, come on. 0 damage. We do get the wound on him. But that's saddening. And now we have poison. Okay, regroup, rallying cry. We're just going to be doing a bunch of punching, I think. We could use continuous health to shoot the guy at the back. Vile Assault will give us a little bit of healing as well. Not wanting to get the kills is a bit strange. Sand in the Hourglass would run him down. So let's do that. But we need to do it quickly. There's not going to be anyone close enough for us to actually hit properly. It is what it is. Oh, the priest is going fast. Okay, that solves a problem. So, Blinkblade, we are going to use Sand in the Hourglass, but we're going to step in now before we do that. And we can get you bleeding out a bit. And then he's going to suffer 1 more damage because he's right next to us, and then he'll suffer 1 on his turn. Ooh, a rejuvenating charm. I'm curious as to what that is going to be. Well, I don't think we can actually get close enough to do much. So it might just be worth us getting the heal out over here. Seeing as you're on the front line. And then stepping slightly to the side. Drifter. If we could get a hit on this one, that would be rather pleasant. And now, in a rather cunning use of... yeah, let's get another precision aim. In a rather cunning use of our abilities, we're going to move onto this trap and then heal up afterwards. So we're kind of clearing the way. Take the damage. Are you still gonna act? Yeah, you're gonna do nasty stuff, and it's gonna be at the Blink Blade. I think that's fine, though. Yeah, take the extra hit. I don't want the priest running onto the trap. I don't mind if we suffer a bit for it, but... It's a little painful, but it's fine. Short rest. Deadly shot, crushing weight. I think we're just going to punch him. I think we'll just punch him, then we'll heal ourselves up and get one of our abilities back. And over here, we're going to do what we can slowly. Ooh, do I mind losing regroup? It's not terrible to lose. I do like having healing, but at this point, we're quite late in the game. And we do need to do some zealot burning. So, yeah, let's lose it. And we will move up over to grab this loot, I think. We're probably going to want to go quickish. Let's get a javelin on them. Let's get a javelin on them, and we'll get a bit closer with rallying cry. They may be dead by the time we get there. Or maybe not. They're certainly not running away. We need to move first. Javelin at point blank range. Oh, fine. We're doing it with the old punch. Nice that the curse kicked in from the priest. Right. Have a stab, like a legitimate stab. And then heal yourself up. And I would like to get another use of sustained momentum. Which means our Blink Blade can just move up and grab this. I would like the regen. So actually, change of plan, we're going to have the regen. Means we're not moving at all, but that's fine. Looks like we have another door to push on through. Set for the charge will move us 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll get us into the doorway. That's cool. And we're not going to be close enough to anything for deflecting maneuver. Let's put at all costs in place for now. Drifter, I think we're going to do a short rest. Blink Blade, I think we'll do a short rest. Yeah, we can lose Violent Inheritance. I don't want to lose Sand in the Hourglass, because conceptually I like it. We've not just been able to use it much this time. Lose it. And for the Drifter, you're already pretty close. Let's go for Relentless to get 2 more bonuses, and Ooh, actually, yeah. Let's go for crushing weight and relentless, and we'll get our 4 bonuses out, so at least we've got a chance of drifting on the edge. And then over here, we've got 1 thing built up of speed. So I think we're still going to be going slow. What have we got in the way of slow movement? Kinetic transfer will move us 3. That'll go 1, 2, 3. So it gets us towards the room. And temporal displacement. Maybe we loot as we go past. In which case we don't want kinetic transfer. We'll just have hit and run. Hit and run and temporal displacement. The priest is going to do some disarming stuff. Alright. Let's get into that doorway.
Finally, you make it inside the mountain, but your victory is short-lived. Just past the cave opening huddles another group of defenders, muscle-bound Algox with icy fists.
That is a
They've
lot of them.
gathered in a circle, positioned like a lord's private guard around some person of value, except all they seem to be protecting is an ice-covered gap in the floor.
Okay.
They guard the Sky Hall.
Your Algox companion whispers.
We must break through that barrier if we are to end this fight.
The guards, noticing your approach, turn and shout.
You cannot pass, intruders. The Sky Hall is closed to your kind.
They move quickly, uncrossing their arms and stepping forward. Your body is worn, and your lungs still burn from the climb, while these guards are fresh to the battle, wholly rested and prepared to brawl. But it matters little. There is no other way forward.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. There is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 of them in here. There's a chest that I want to grab. I think we need to destroy that ice sheet. Yeah, destroy the ice sheet. So for right now, I think we are just holding the line, which is a terrible place to be. What are they going to do? So the guards are going to move forwards directly and start hitting. I wish I could set for the charge here. And the scouts are going to do lots of peppering. Oh, this is going to be so painful. Right, Blink Blade. I think we're going to have to move you down this way. It's not what I wanted to do. The priest has kind of gone where I needed to be. Ooh, 2 metal in a bag. Drifter. Yeah, get the retaliate. Get the extra melee damage. And now all the pain happens. Okay. Lucky start. 1 damage. I can take 1 damage. Don't like taking 2 damage. Deflecting maneuver will just give us shield here. It will give everyone a chance to get closer. We can even step in as we do it. So like step into here. Prudent preparation, we could get some healing out, but I think we need to move into the room and do draining arrows. So somewhere like this. So draining arrow and Vile Assault will get us in a good place. I think we're going to have to go fast. I want to go as slowly as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to have to use Blurry Jab to get into the room. And then maybe Twin Strike to actually hit something. And then next turn we can do Kinetic Transfer, charge next to things and cause damage. And Power Leak. Yeah, let's try that. We're going fast. The guards aren't moving. They are shielding up a bit. That's not too bad. The scouts are jumping closer and looting. Which means we don't really need this shield. Unless we step right next to the guards. The scouts, on the other hand, yeah, we can get close enough if we step around this corner. So we'll do that. So we're going to use deflecting maneuver. Around the corner we go. And deflecting maneuver. Get a bit of damage out. Drifter. Get right in the middle, please. And we want to target the guard for certain. Probably this. I mean, we could keep the scouts where they are. Let's target those and let's lock them in place. Blink Blade. Where can we get to? We can get right next to this scout. That'll do. And a stab. It's a pretty good stab, actually. And step round to this side. And another stab. Okay, now we've potentially got trouble coming in. We can move forwards and do a combined effort, so let's do a short rest so we get that done. Right in the middle of all of this, Prudent Preparation would put more retaliate on us. And continuous health would allow us to like move so we're right next to the two of them. We want to go really fast, so we'll go with Power Leak and Kinetic Transfer and just try and get the most damage possible out while the getting's good. Do I mind losing Deflecting Maneuver? It's a really nice card, but I guess I don't. So we're going to do combined effort. What do we want for the second thing? Probably moving fast, so set for the charge. And it's good we're doing this before they get to act. So step in, skip the rest. That is rather unlucky. These things do happen, but that is quite disappointing. The guard is not actually going to attack us, so prudent preparation isn't going to help that much. How many active abilities do we have right now? We've got 2 Unbreakables, we've got 2 Sustained Momentums, and then we've got many Relentless and Crushing Weights. So we're going to get shot a couple of times, almost certainly. And those are going to vanish. Let's hit him and do as much as we can. That's okay. And then we could step back here, actually. Or go right for the... Let's go right for the chest. That's a lot of stuff. Shield and Retaliate just means we're going to target your friends. Okay, so we're going to poison ourselves. But we're going to get one more target and an experience for this. So power leak, but hit both of them. There's going to be a little bit of Retaliate. It's a big hit, that. That is a smaller hit, but it's still a good hit. And then who do we have moving next? We've got the priest coming in to do a bit of healing. We might be in range for that. Then the Scout Elite is going to move and they're going to attack Banner Spear. And the Scout up here is probably going to attack us. If we stay where we are. Yeah. Let's skip the movement. We could even push these guys back, but there's nowhere really that's worth sending them. So we'll just do the damage. And let the priest come in. Impair. Can't use any items. Ow. That looks like a pincer movement to me. In fact, the way these have all kind of clustered together is amusing to me. We're going to javelin, and I don't think it's worth doing at all costs yet. But with the javelin, we could then use probably pincer movement to move in and do a bit of looting. Drifter, it's got to be a short rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. You still got 4 abilities left, so we could still get away with having something good for you. It's going to have to be a short rest on our slow-moving Blink Blade. Yes, we can lose Vile Assault. Yes, we can lose Hit and Run. So assuming we're going for Draining Arrows, that means we're going to need to step in a little, let's say Prudent Preparation, Draining Arrows. we're not going to need to step in much. Just one space would do. And for the Blink Blade, it might be time for us to start burning cards. We could do a Power Leak and then a Blurry Jab. Power Leak to kill this guy, Blurry Jab to step forwards and get some damage on them. Let's see how it goes. The priest is going fast. They're going to do some shooting. That might throw our plans out a little. Not in a bad way, though. Step in one space. And get draining arrows on these. We have run out of range. Should have stepped in too. It's fine. Not helpful. I wish that was the other way round, honestly. That's painful. We will lose a card. Let's lose Drive Recharge. We're reaching the end now, so I don't mind doing that. Rejuvenating Charm? Does that just give us regen? I'm going to need to look at what that actually does. Okay, Javelin. Hit the big guy. We are impaired, which is not a problem, but... well, with that, we may as well get a little closer. Blink Blade, your poison's gone. I love it. I love it so much. So, Blurry Jab. An adjacent enemy suffers 1 damage. That's you. And then Power Leak on this one. It's enough. This Scout Elite is going to die in 2 turns. So we can probably ignore him and start just picking up the loot. We do need to do the ice sheet, though. That is a very good point. The priest is going to come in and shoot him. Maybe shoot him. Drifter. I think it's going to be best if we move on up and shoot the sheet. This will also show us how many persistent abilities we've got left. We have 3, so we do need to activate 1 more. Ow. Take the down. I probably should have burnt a card, actually. We need to move up and start dealing with this. So, how are we going to do that? We can move in a little bit on the base, because we're regenning. And then do kinetic transfer shot. Yeah, that works. That's not bad. Banner Spear. May as well just try and kill him. And then let's start using cards. We need to get down to 3 cards on the Banner Spear. We don't have an urgency to destroy this, but we do want to do it pretty quickly. So, short rest. I kind of want you to have a long rest so you've got more chance of us activating continuous health. And we can do a short rest over here and then come down and start grabbing loot. Short we can lose at all costs. And yeah, we can lose Twin Strike. Do we have anything that's going to loot nicely? Pincer movement would work. So set for the charge, pincer movement. We're going to loot all the bits right immediately around us. And up here we can move down 2. And just do a teeny bit of grabbing. You know what? Go here and grab all 3 of them. Metal, lumber, and gold. Skip the attack. Blink Blade's actually going to have further to go. And we're moving... Are we moving fast? We are moving fast, so we can make it down and grab this. We don't necessarily need to, though. If we just do a regular movement, we can then do temporal displacement. So there's only one loot bag that we haven't grabbed yet. So Drifter, lose prudent preparation. And now we need to start finishing this off. So we're going to go... We need to move up quite a lot. Set for the charge will get us there. Let's do a short rest just to be certain. This also sets up our cards nicely. Drifter, we're going to do continuous health and deadly shot because we are actually... They're much of a muchness, deadly shot, because we're at the right range for that. Down here, blurry jab and kinetic transfer will get us onto the loot. Don't really want to lose that. Let's switch over. Pincer movement short. So we are going set for the charge and javelin. Banner Spear, come on up. I feel like we need to do this after we've done the Drifter's turn. So we're going to skip. Blink Blade. Come grab the loot. Skip that all off. 2 more gold. And continuous health. So that is our 4th persistent ability for drifting on the edge. Deadly shot comes in. We've got the -1. So yeah, now we need to hit it. Such a shame. Short rest. Short rest. Sure, we can lose javelin. So let's keep Javelin. Because we can throw it from here. We can lose temporal displacement. So Javelin combined effort. It's probably not going to count for the Drifter, which is going to be a shame. But these things happen. If we go for Power Leak and Kinetic Transfer, we can probably stretch out our movement a little bit. But let's get the Javelin shot off. That'll do it. That will do it. We do have a chance to have the other turns. So we would have been fine if we did it last turn. That's a learning experience for this game. And a little bit of kinetic transfer. Skip the attack though. Well, victory's ours. It did take a little bit of time. And I am curious as to what things may have happened in terms of the perks. Oh, we can have a look here. Right, okay. So these are masteries. And they instantly give perks. We did the battle goal. We did the battle goal. We didn't do Rambler. Bit of a shame. It didn't give us drifting on the edge. Also a shame. Didn't get move fast, hit hard. That's not much of a surprise, but these are ones that you have to specifically try for. At least we got two of the three. Kill Steel Champion.
The ice barrier shatters with a great ear-splitting crack, and you look down through the hole to a chamber far below. A stone floor covered in strange runic symbols and a spiral of pedestals radiating out from its center. Sky Hall, it would seem. However, it's much too far to simply jump.
Of course.
Finally it's open.
You turn to see the Algox you rescued staring forward. She lifts her gnarled staff and nods with a confident, satisfied frown.
Those foul ice seekers cannot hope to keep this mountain now.
She bends down and grabs a handful of snow, testing it between her fingers. Satisfied, she brings it to her face and whispers. The white powder flies from her hand and swirls around her. Whirling like a miniature storm, the snow lifts her off the ground and carries her gently down through the hole.
Are you coming?
The Algox calls to you from below.
Plenty more ice speakers to kill.
On cue, the snow around you swirls into a great eddy of white and lifts you like a leaf, carrying you down through the opening just like the Algox. As you float down, you get a grand view of the majestic open cavern that must be the Sky Hall. It is a circular layout of stone seats with a raised platform in the center that holds an ornate altar. The priest is doing something at the altar, perhaps praying when you land, but she quickly turns and introduces herself as Lamprel, explaining the situation.
Well, that doesn't explain the situation by itself.
According to her, this mountain, Snowscorn, is a site of great religious significance to all Algox. However, the clans in the area are divided into two rival factions who disagree violently over how to communicate with their god.
So we've
The snow
definitely picked
speakers,
sides.
led by the priest in front of you, believe their god speaks to them through the snow falling from the heavens, while the ice speakers, or dirt lovers, claim to commune with divinity through the ice that emerges from the ground below.
I love it. I love it so much.
Currently, the ice speakers inhabit the mountain, but when their war party went out to attack Frosthaven, and returned battle-weary, the Snow Speakers used the opening to launch an attack of their own.
So we've started a
But
civil
there is
war.
no more time for speech. The battle must be raging in the mountain's heart. So if you want my help, we must head there with all haste,
She says decisively. With that, the Snow Speaker chieftain turns and moves to a tunnel leading deeper into the mountain. You're not sure which side you should take here, but you know this information is valuable. If you can help turn the tide in the Snow Speaker's favor, you might be able to broker a truce with the victors.
It seems
You
reasonable.
follow the shaman deeper into the mountain, wondering whether this is what Sather had in mind.
I suspect it probably wasn't. Each hero in the party gains a perk mark. Nice. New mandatory quest has been unlocked, Heart of Ice. So that's what we're going to have to go for. And I wonder, yes, I think that's where we're going to have to finish things off for this episode. It has taken a while, but certainly the quest chains definitely tie themselves together quite significantly. Thank you very much for coming along, everyone. I do hope you've enjoyed this. As always, if you have, be sure to give a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so, and you'll be told when the next episode goes live. Otherwise, I'll see you next time for another episode of Frosthaven. See you soon.